Hey friends, welcome back. If you're new here, my name is Caitlin, and I think I'm going to start labeling these bookish videos as Rabbit Reads episodes. It's a play on my Bookstagram that I had. I've since converted that account to my book club account. I am the chapter head for the Morbidly Curious Book Club Nashville chapter, and yeah, I just really love that name, so I'm gonna make this into a series of its own. And I guess this is technically going to be episode 2. I'm going to talk about books that I plan on reading in February, my February TBR. I do have this divvied up into 2 separate lists. Have to read no matter what. Got to finish it this month. If I get all that done, I can maybe read these. So let's get into it. Okay, first up, I have Cloud Cuckoo Land. I started this at the end of January, and I'm gonna be honest, I have not picked this up at all this month. I am not very far into it. It's good, it's interesting, but it hasn't hooked me in yet. Cloud Cuckoo Land is a triumph of an imagination. Oh my gosh, I can't even talk. Of imagination and compassion, a soaring story about children on the cusp of adulthood in worlds in peril who find resilience, hope, and a book. So this follows multiple people in multiple timelines in multiple locations around the world and even interstellar worlds. It's a lot. It's good, but it's just not feeling like a necessity, but I'm gonna hate myself if I do not finish this book this month and I have to keep reading it in March. So this is probably second on the list. Now, top of the list for books that I absolutely have to read this month is the February pick for my book club. This is Tremors in the Blood, Murder Obsession, and the Birth of the Lie Detector. I am only 53 pages in, but this is really interesting. It's so much better written than last month's book. Hated it. I find it really hilarious that the author of last month's book that I hated is mentioned in here apparently quite a few times according to other chapter hosts. So far, really loving this. Obviously, annotating it to my heart's content because that is really the only way I can focus on nonfiction books. It just helps me get through it. So, top of the list so far, really enjoying it. The final book on my have to read list for February is Good Girl, Bad Blood. This is a sequel to A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. This one, Pip and Ravi Singh have a podcast together, and in the midst of that podcast going viral, somebody goes missing, and of course she feels the need to go and investigate, and I'm really excited about this. I loved A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. I listened to that on audio. I will also be listening to this on audio, so I really, really want to read it this month. I have it on Libby. I probably have like 17 days left before it is due to return, so I have plenty of time. Yeah, I am most excited about this book, probably more so than the other 2. Now, as far as my maybe I'll get to this list if I finish those books, top of the list is The Girl Who Fell Beneath the Sea. I actually already listened to this on audiobook and finished it within 24 hours. I absolutely adored that book. It is inspired by Spirited Away, and that is one of my favorite movies of all time. It's about a girl who sacrifices herself, even though she's not the chosen one, to be given to the sea god. And while she's there, she meets characters that you can obviously tell are heavily inspired by the characters in Spirited Away. So sweet, so wholesome. Next up is All of Us Villains, and I am currently listening to this on audio. I am thriving with audiobooks right now, and this is very much giving The Hunger Games but with magic, and it's an extremely long book. I'm not really even invested all that much in it yet. Hopefully it gets better. I don't think I've even made it to the 50% mark, and I've been listening to it for 2 days so far. This is like a 13-hour book, so it's gonna take me a minute to get through. Hopefully it gets better, but right now it's just kind of okay. I do also have Onyx Storm on this list. I got my pre-order in January and have not picked it up yet. So hopefully I get to it this month. I might not. If I do, this will be the first physical copy of the Empyrean series that I will have read ever. I have listened to them on audiobook. I absolutely loved Fourth Wing. And the only way I would have finished Iron Flame is through audiobook. I do, however, really want to go back and do like a tandem read or like a read along with the audiobook and the physical book, especially now that I know how the second book ended. It definitely makes me want to go back and see what I missed, because obviously like you have two different reading experiences when you're listening to the audiobook versus like reading the physical book, but combining them together would be incredible, especially since I absolutely love Rebecca Soler's narration and portrayal of this story. She is phenomenal and one of my all-time favorite narrators. Lastly, I have The Unmaking of June Farrow. I have no idea what this book is about. None whatsoever. But I have seen people talk about it non-stop and rave about it constantly. And somebody that I follow on Instagram actually posted that it was on sale with Kindle for $1.99. I hopped on that so fast. Give me a $2 book and I am there. I don't even care if I know what the book is about, obviously. I'm not going to pass up a $2 book, especially if it's a popular book like June Farrow. So that is on the maybe list. I am very much trudging through the month, and yeah, I don't know how far I'm going to get into my TBR lists, but hopefully I at least get those top 3 done and for sure not have to worry about this book in March, because I think I might cry if I have to keep reading this. Not that it's bad, obviously, but like I just hate spending forever to read a book, and especially having to do that already. The Throne of Glass series, it's just not something, it's just not a habit I want to continue. Let me know in the comments what books you are reading this month. I would love to know, and I hope you enjoyed this, and I'll see you next time.